Scott in Atlanta, he writes to me and he says, Paul, many high-end audiophile speaker solutions are pitched to be the total solution, fixing or outright ignoring the room, while it's well known that even perfectly matched left to right early reflections and an even, smooth fall off in the diffuse field contributes largely to imaging and spaciousness. Do speaker designers ever attempt to use DSP plus speaker designs to treat the direct and reflected portions of the sound in separate ways that complement each other? Yeah, a few people do, but let's think in terms of practicality. First off, there isn't a speaker designer alive that does not realize that every speaker has to work within a room and realize that the room is one of the single biggest problems we have. We battle the room all the time with our FR30 loudspeakers. They're going to sound different in your room than they're going to sound in my room. Now, there are a couple of ways to deal with that. One, we could employ DSP and a measurement system and try and get them as even as possible. But part of the problem with that is that DSP, unless we're at low frequencies, and I don't think you're talking, because you're talking near field, far field, and all that kind of stuff, it's very specific to where you are in the room. If you DSP a speaker to be perfect at the listening position, and then you move over here, it's not going to be that way anymore. And it's very tricky. The second or third, I don't know how many I've gone through so far. Sorry about that. To use DSP requires a DSP, or it requires internally amplified electronics for the speaker, none of which a lot of people are interested in buying. And of course, loudspeaker manufacturers are cognizant and aware of the problems of the room. I think the best thing that a speaker designer can do is kind of what we do, which is make sure that the speaker you design is relatively flat in the on-axis and off-axis response. So take our FR30s. For a fairly large, broad, and wide arc, the response is flat. If you get off-axis, it's fairly flat. On-axis, fairly flat. And that's important because then you can move the speakers in and out. You can tone them in and out a little bit to make up for the room in a natural way without using DSP and still have the sound that we're hoping that you get out of a pair of those speakers. So there is no perfect solution. There are no perfect speakers and certainly no perfect rooms. And yeah, we can try and candy coat it with DSP, and some people do a pretty good job at that. But I don't think that's the best solution for a whole bunch of practical reasons. And so unless in the bass, that's where I buy it every time, because we can fix a lot of stuff in DSP in the bass, and I'm fine with that. But as we get into the higher frequencies, not a big fan. So yeah, we get it. Don't quite know what to do about it. All right, thanks.